All right, today I've got 3 postures that cultivate soothing in the nervous system. Relatively accessible, and I'll give you some ways to make them more accessible. So, have whatever props you have handy. I've got 2 blocks and a bolster. And you can come to your mat. First posture, child's pose. So for some of us, we just go, oh, my hips come down to my heels, and my arms reach forward. And for others of us, not so comfy. Okay, so if you're a child's pose junkie and you just love it, just go for it. You can hang out there and take some smooth, easy breaths. If you've experienced any kind of struggle in child's pose, I'm going to give you 2 options to make it a little more soothing and supportive. The first is a block right under your forehead. So you just take the block, you might have to estimate a little bit where your head's going to land, and then rest your head there. Take a breath or 2 or 3. And then just notice which way the skin on your forehead is moving. Rather than having it pulling up towards your hairline, see if you can catch it and draw it down towards your nose. So we're not cultivating this like stressed out shock face. Instead, we're cultivating that kind of soothed, calm, relaxed movement in the facial muscles. This doesn't have to be a big drag. It's very subtle. Okay, so you can just kind of tuck your forehead skin, drawing it down on the block. Now, if you're happy there, you can stay. Some of you I know are going, my hips won't come to my heels and my hamstrings and my glutes and everything's talking to me. So if that's you, you're going to grab a bolster or a pillow or a blanket and place it right on top of your calves. Another little note, if the tops of your feet and ankles are sensitive, it can be helpful to have a blanket under your feet or roll one right underneath your ankles so they don't have to, your feet don't have to flatten all the way to the floor. Okay, so extra tidbit. All right, with the bolster or props you have here, you're going to take your hips back to your heels, walk your hands forward, and then maybe again recruit your block. It's got a lot of height. And there you go, child's pose. Okay, so that's our first posture, child's pose. Forward fold tends to be a little more soothing on the nervous system. Now, our next posture is similar to what we did just the other day, right? So we did a standing forward fold, and that's an inversion. That's where we think the balancing effect comes from. But now we're going to try a seated forward fold. So make like an L shape with your body, and if it's a little more of a C shape, you're going to grab a couple blankets or just recruit that bolster again and sit up. Okay? Blocks can come in handy here too. Some of you might use a strap, that's fine. But blocks help kind of support your hands wherever they are. So first things first, we're going to just sit tall, straight up through the midline with an easy breath. And then from there, you can start to hinge from your hips and lengthen forward. So I always press a little bit down through my heels so the back of my legs are active as they're stretching. It's not just a passive lean. You can make this restorative if you want to put some pillows in between your legs and your torso, support your head even. But with most postures, good idea to try maybe 5 easy breaths. You can always build from there. So let's take 2 more breaths here. And then slowly walk out. This last forward fold, I'm going to offer for those of you, see my voice even dropped. I'm like, oh, that was so nice. This last forward fold, I'm going to offer for those of you who are really feeling your hammies. This isn't about just hamstring opening time, okay? So if your hamstrings, the back of your legs, are talking to you a lot in downward dog and in that seated forward fold we just did, you might want to try this shape. Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Also known as, when I used to teach gymnastics to kids, butterfly, okay? So blocks can come in handy here. You can see I'm sitting on my bolster. You can sit on some height, particularly if your back likes to round, like most of ours do. And then just start by sitting tall. That's our prep, an easy breath or 2 or 3. No rush. And then the forward fold comes as we start to walk our hands in. Now, if you're feeling a lot here, outer hips or inner thighs, those might be some of the more tighter areas in your body. It's okay as long as you're not feeling pain and it feels like you can breathe easy. Okay, so find a forward fold that allows you to breathe easy, and try those maybe 3 or 4 more cycles of breath. Now, the more the forward fold happens, I see you. I see myself in you. You might want to start looking at your toes and checking out your pedicure. I always try to, if I'm just grooming, it's not a terrible thing, we're mammals, but I try to just fold a little massage in there too. So it's a little more conscious with my breath. Let's take one more breath here. And then inhale as you slowly rise up. Take a little shoulder roll so you can shake that out. So notice how you feel, right? These shapes have an effect over time. You might notice it a little bit right away, but they tend to increase as we practice more. Things change and bodies are different though. So each time you practice, notice what happens in your own body and your own experience. And the things that are helpful, you can keep doing, and the things that aren't, you can toss them, okay, or leave them for another day if that's the case. So thank you for being here. Hopefully you feel a little more soothed with those 3 practices: child's pose, seated forward fold, and Baddha Konasana, or butterfly forward fold, we'll call it for today. Thanks everybody. Namaste.